The knock came at midnight, sharp and deliberate against the rusted metal door of Jake's workshop. He stood frozen in the dim light of his quarters, the baby finally quiet against his shoulder after 2 hours of screaming. Little Emma had been colicky since Maria died 3 weeks ago, and sleep had become a distant memory. Jake hesitated. Nobody came to the outer rings of Station Telos at midnight with good intentions. The colony sat at the edge of human space, a maintenance hub for ships traveling to the frontier worlds. Here desperation wore many faces. The knock came again. "Just a minute," Jake called out, his voice hoarse. He adjusted Emma in his arms and palmed the door control. The woman standing in the corridor was tall, nearly 7 feet, with scales that shimmered like oil on water under the flickering lights. Her species, the Drakari, were known throughout the galaxy as warriors and conquerors. Their empire had fallen centuries ago, but their reputation remained. She wore a tattered flight suit, and her golden eyes held something Jake hadn't expected: exhaustion. "I seek work," she said in accented standard. "I am Kisara. I can repair anything." Jake's instinct screamed to shut the door. The Drakari had fought humanity in 3 separate conflicts. They were proud, violent, and utterly incompatible with human society. Yet as Emma began to whimper against his chest, Jake saw Kisara's eyes flick to the baby, and something softened in that reptilian face. "It's midnight," Jake said carefully. "I know." Kisara's clawed hands hung loose at her sides, non-threatening. "I have been watching your shop for 3 days. You work alone. You are skilled, but you are struggling. I saw you drop a thruster assembly today because you were holding the child." Jake felt heat rise to his face. "I'm managing. You are drowning." Kisara's words were blunt but not unkind. "I need work." "You need help. I ask nothing but food and a place to sleep. No currency, just a chance." Emma's whimpering escalated to a full wail. Jake bounced her automatically, but his arms trembled with fatigue. He had 6 ships in various states of repair, 4 angry clients demanding updates, and a baby who wouldn't stop crying no matter what he did. "Why here?" Jake asked over Emma's cries. "Why me?" Kisara's crest flattened against her skull, a gesture of shame among her people. "Because 23 other shops turned me away. Because humans see my scales and remember the wars. Because you are my last option before I starve." Jake studied her. The Drakari were notoriously proud. For one to beg for work, to admit desperation, it went against everything their culture valued. He saw the truth of her situation in the way her flight suit hung loose, in the dullness of scales that should gleam. Emma screamed louder, her tiny face red with misery. "Do you know anything about human infants?" Jake asked, surprising himself. Kisara blinked. No. Nothing." "Then you're about as qualified as I am." Jake stepped back, opening the door wider. "Workshop's through there. Living quarters are here. You can take the back room. We'll figure out payment later." The dragon woman stood motionless for 3 heartbeats. Then she inclined her head in what Jake recognized as a gesture of profound respect. "You honor me, human." "Jake, name's Jake, this is Emma." He gestured to the screaming baby. "And right now I'd honor anyone who can hand me a wrench while I'm holding her." Something that might have been a smile crossed Kisara's face, revealing rows of sharp teeth. "I can do this." The first week was awkward. Kisara slept only 4 hours a night and worked with a precision that humbled Jake. She moved through the workshop like water, her clawed hands surprisingly delicate with sensitive components. She spoke little, asked for nothing, and refused to eat until Jake had eaten first, a Drakari custom that embarrassed her when he pointed it out. "We are not charity," she muttered, pushing food back toward him. "No," Jake agreed, feeding Emma with one hand while reviewing a diagnostic with the other. "You're the best employee I've ever had. Take the damn sandwich." Emma began to calm in the 2nd week. Jake noticed Kisara watching as he changed diapers, prepared bottles, and paced the floors at night. One evening he found the dragon woman standing over Emma's makeshift crib, her golden eyes soft. "I had a clutch," Kisara said quietly, "before the Empire fell. Before the humans came to my world." She didn't elaborate, and Jake didn't push. The next night, when Emma woke crying, Jake found Kisara already there. The Drakari held the baby awkwardly, her scales making soft clicking sounds that somehow soothed the infant. "You're warm," Jake observed from the doorway. "Drakari run hot. Our young require heat. Kisara adjusted Emma with growing confidence. Your young are fragile. How do you keep them alive? Stubbornness, Jake said. And help from unexpected places. By the third week, the workshop was caught up. 4 new clients had come, drawn by word of the human and dragon team who could fix anything. Kisara had stopped sleeping in the back room and now kept a bedroll near the workshop heaters where Emma's crib sat. I can pay you now, Jake said one evening, reviewing their accounts. Proper wages. You've earned it. Kisara looked up from the engine she was calibrating. Emma dozed in a carrier strapped to the dragon woman's chest, a modification Kisara had designed herself. I have food. I have shelter. I have purpose. Now you have a job, Jake corrected. And jobs come with pay. The dragon woman's crest rose slightly. Then I accept. But I wish to stay, not as charity as partner? Jake looked at the workshop, cleaner and more organized than it had been in years. He looked at Emma, sleeping peacefully against scales that gleamed with renewed health. He looked at Kisara, who had come to his door desperate and broken, and had somehow saved him from drowning. Partners, Jake agreed, extending his hand. Kisara clasped it carefully, mindful of her claws. Your species is strange, Jake Mechanic. You open doors when wisdom says to close them? Yeah, well, Jake smiled tiredly. Sometimes the best things in life come knocking at midnight. Emma stirred and cooed softly. Kisara's crest fluttered in what Jake had learned was contentment. Outside, Station Telos spun on in the darkness between stars, home to 1,000 species and 1,000,000 stories. But in a small workshop on the outer ring, a human widower and a dragon warrior had found something that transcended old wars and ancient prejudices. They had found family,